Whenever we what was the cookout?
Chick. Con.
That was the last time we bought some red cups, wasn't it?
Give us 2 seconds, Barbershop. Trying to fix a minor setback. You got your mic?
Yeah, Comic-Con. So.
Oh, you already got the battery?
Yeah, Comic-Con.
Check.
Oh, most check. Great. Yeah,
all right, let's get it. Let's clap it up then. We Salakia, y'all. Shalom. YAHANNA I was shot back a thumb to my brothers. YAHANNA Shemala thumb by Shemel was shot at my sisters. With the I.S.U.P.K. Start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, operating under the leadership of Commander Jenny YAHANNA. We're not affiliated with no other Israelite group, Muslim mosque, Christian church, whatever you have it out there. You understand what I'm saying? The Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We stand on our own toes. We stand on our own merit. And we've been established since 1969. Since then, we've been bringing out the truth that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, Comic-Con, are the true Israelites of the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? Despite of whatever your Christian pastor has told you or whatever. You understand? Salakia, why I said Salakia earlier, it's like it's been a minute. You understand what I'm saying? But nevertheless, the work don't stop. It might get altered a little bit. You understand? We might have to go here, we might have to go there, depending on how Commander Jenny YAHANNA gives the order. You understand? We all know when it comes to weather and things like that. But nevertheless, the work is always going to continue. You understand? It's Friday night. In a form of fashion, what we do is go over things that are pertinent to the language. You understand what I'm saying? The more and more that I battle people, you understand? So like it. Friday night is Lashawan Qadash. So if y'all got any questions, you understand, put it in the group chat. Give me a 1W Baba Kisha so I know that y'all can hear me. Yeah, man, Kevin. You understand? House of Ayathan. But if y'all got any questions, y'all can put it in the group chat. You understand what I'm saying? Tonight we're gonna go over some new material. We're gonna start off how we always do. You understand, with brushing off the cobwebs or the dust real quick. You understand what I'm saying? We got a 1W in the chat. All right, most on curse. Who that? Sister Nasha Araka. Okay, shalom, sis. YAHANNA Shemala Thavashim. Y'all shout the water for tuning in. Most on curse. We're going to go over some new things. It might be new to some, old to some. You understand? We're going to be going over the weather. You understand? So like I said, if y'all do have any questions, put it in the group chat. Okay, all the way from Pittsburgh. Most on curse. Most on curse. So, like I was saying, what I learned when it comes to this language, let me tell you the importance of this language, right? A lot of people try to battle us. Like, what I've learned is when they can't beat us in doctrine, they want to try to go to the language, right? And that's another tool and a weapon, especially as a priest, that we should have and we can have, is because they'll try to go when they say, oh, well, you don't know the Hebrew, so I can, blah, 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 you know, understand? But now that we know the Hebrew, we can hit you in all different ways. You understand? From all different, what do they say, avenues, angles, come throw out. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm a welder. I should know what the hell angles is. So like it. But with that being said, you understand the angles that they try to get you once you kick their behind with doctrine, with the truth of the Bible. Now it's the language. You understand? And especially when it comes to, you know, immaculate conception. Is this one brother, this good night, this brother goes into the Greek and he tried to make Greek outweigh prophecy, which is crazy work. You understand what I'm saying? But because we learn this language, because we get into this, you know, intimate with the Hebrew and things like that, and we know also the Hebrew is the authority of the Bible, whether it's the Old Testament or the New Testament. And why I say the New Testament, because there was Hebrew-speaking people. You understand what I'm saying? Christ spoke Hebrew. Paul spoke Hebrew. You understand what I'm saying? So when you think about it, even the way that they may speak or how they're written down or it's translated, it'll be to the point where when they saying certain things, you won't know or understand it because they're quoting things from the Hebrew, but you'll know and understand it because of the Hebrew. For example, right? I think it's Matthew, 27-46, when Yahweh Shah, you understand, was calling up to the Most High. And he said, Eli, Eli, sabachthani. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people say that's Aramaic and this and that, or that's whatever, or it's Greek out of the Septuagint. Well, I know that's a lie, because if I read in Psalms 22, I read the same thing that King David said Christ quoted. You understand what I'm saying? Christ quoted the Old Testament a lot. You understand? So now I can see, okay, this is Hebrew, and I could go to the Hebrew and the specific chapter and see, okay, now I can see it says all y'all sabachthani. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that last word right, I always butcher it. But with that being said, that's the importance of the Hebrew, man, that we got to recognize and realize. You understand what I'm saying? That's why in the Apocrypha, it tells you to forgive us for some words whenever we translate into another language, because when it's in its original language, you understand, it has a more force to it than when it's in another tongue. You understand what I'm saying? For example, when we read, in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. Everybody before they got into the I.S.U.P.K, and still now they're not in the I.S.U.P.K, they think when they see God, it's talking about the Most High, and it's not. You understand? So now when you read it in the Hebrew, it says bara ashaya bara alahayim. Now we know, hold up, alahayim, the word for God is alahayim, so that's not Yahweh, that's not the Most High. So these are the powers. And then you read in the second chapter where the Most High is finally introduced in the 4th or 7th verse. I think it's between the 4th or 7th verse. You understand what I'm saying? And now you see Yahweh Elohim. So now you see the distinction because of the Hebrew. You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, the Hebrew is definitely helpful because, again, when the scripture says, thou shalt not kill, right? A lot of people would say, well, God is basically going against his own commandment, because in Deuteronomy 32, he says, I unalive, I make alive, right? So for him to say, now I unalive and I make alive, and then tell us to not do that, they would think that's a contradiction. But then if you read it in the Hebrew, it would use the M word, which is an unrighteous unalive, and that is a tongue tire. Salakia. So that's why I say the Hebrew is definitely important, right? So let's get into it. Like I said, we're gonna be going over the weather. You understand? If y'all got any questions, like I said, Barbara Kashai put it in the group chat. But we're gonna start off with the alphabet, like we always supposed to do, right? What I learned, man, like it's to the point where you got these Muslims that be trying to ride a coattail, and you understand you got some. It's weird because some of them, you understand, they can't stand the scriptures, which is, the more I start battling them, the more I start seeing your book can't exist without the Bible at all. I don't want, like, when it comes to, I ain't gonna say that word, you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's toilet tissue to us, but it can't exist without the Bible because it's always talking about Moses. They call him Esau, which is Yahweh Shah, you understand? You know, they call it Abraham, and you understand, they talk about Isaac, which is, you know, of course, Ishmael was jealous of Isaac because of what happened. Like, so it's a lot of things that I've learned, man, with battling these people, that they can't stand the Bible, but they also wouldn't have their book if it wasn't for the Bible. You understand? So it's just funny. Oh my God. And why I say that too is because a lot of them, you know, they be like, well, you know, Jesus spoke this, Jesus spoke that. And I'm not ever denying it, because I don't never read where he spoke Aramaic, right? They can't. Oh yeah, because that glare. Yeah, that because, like, you know, when it comes to that, like, I hear people say that, right? And I've never read, you know, okay, I can't say I did that. There are sources that say he spoke that, right? But we can't go by all the sources, because you know why? The same exact source that said he spoke Aramaic, I asked the man, I said, hey, do me a favor. I said, type in, what color is Jesus? You know what color they show? We all should know that. So I said, how can I now use the source that you just gave me to say Christ spoke Aramaic? I said, the best source that I'm going to use is the Bible. Show me that in the Bible. Yeah, I'm going to use that same one. So that's why I say, like I said, like, you know, listen, Christ was that nigga. Salaki. So if he did speak Aramaic, I mean, Most High in Christ, that ain't, that ain't nothing taken away from his character. Nah, that joint was faint too, though. So, but more so, what I'm saying is, let's say he did speak that. Now what? What's your point? What point are y'all really making there? You know what I mean? Now, like I said, thank you. My point. My point is that exactly. Like I said, oh my God, how is that going to free blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? That's the main point. What language he spoke, right? Because just because he spoke Aramaic, again, if you don't know how to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and love your brother, what the hell does the language matter? And then what Paul said, though I can speak all these languages and have not charity, you understand me? That I don't love my brother, I'm just making noise any damn way. Right, exactly. Come. Still won't love that brother. Don't matter. So the point of, like I said, man, of course, Hebrew is definitely important because we know when it comes to the Hebrew, that's actually what the Old Testament was translated from, right? This thing out too. Yeah. And then y'all think about it too, man. Like you said, a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but the tradition of why we go over the Hebrew right before the Sabbath service is to prepare us for the Sabbath service. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you need to brush up on anything, especially if you've already read ahead. Then now you can basically select it, sir. And then Lashawan Qadash class, hey, how do I say this word, or what does this word mean? Getting more understanding. And then not only, like I said, besides that, as far as learning everything that I just said as well, you got to think about it too. This is a culture that is connected to the ancient people of the Bible, the chosen people of the Bible. And that's us. And a lot of times what I've learned is, I tell you, when you want to know the culture of a people, you look into their language. Because the language will tell you a lot that you need to know about a people. You understand what I'm saying? Like you think about, like, our language is very mannerism. What do I mean by that? Have like, so of course, one thing, I know growing up, that was heavy in my household. You understand? My pops made sure we had manners. You understand what I'm saying? You got the table manners, and you think about it like that. So you understand, if I say something to a brother, and I might not mean to say it, or I might step on his shoe, or a sister, the first thing we're gonna say is what? Salakia. Salaki is excuse me or forgive me, right? Then you have Tawada, just thank you, or think nothing of it, or mention nothing, speak nothing. Salakia, thank you is just thank you, Salakia. Then Ayundabar is mention nothing or speak nothing of it. It's still difficult to see it other one. Oh, okay, come. What you got? What's the question? Five animals. Five animals. Five animals. Okay, and numbers 10 through 100, counting by 10. So you only want 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, so forth and so on. Con, I got you. All right. Five animals. Name five animals. I got about one, two now. Yeah, real tough. She said concert. Okay. Okay. Now when we talk about and this why that scripture we read in Ecclesiastes because it's so important because like it says the thing that when it's written in another tongue have not the same force of it when it's in its original tongue. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna look up these animals that you're talking about, and we gonna get into it. I think the numbers will be quicker because, like I said, I'll go to the animals first since it's only five. So we got alap, which is cow. There go one of your animals right there, right? Bayath, which is house. Gamal, which is camel. There go two of your animals. That's why I say it was a couple animals up here. I know I wasn't tripping. Delath, which is door. Hana, which is wawa. Oh, we can do dog because Salakia, Exodus 11 and 7 talks about a dog. So we can do dog. Matter of fact, dog is Calab. And to call a woman a female dog is, Kalabah. You know what I mean? Anyway, Salakia. So that's three. You got Kalab, you got Alap, and Gamal, but we'll go over it. Then we got Hana, which is behold, Wawa, which is fish hook, Zayan, which is weapon, Kalma, which is fence, Salakia Tana'a, which is basket, Yad, which is hand, Kap, which is palm, Lamad, which is Mayum, Nawan, which is Samak, Ayun, which is Salakia. I said Nawan, which is Samak. Good night. Lamad is learn. Mayum is water or waters. Nawan is a sprout. Samak is established. Ayan is eye. Paul is mouth. Hazad is side. Kawash is snare. Ra'ash is head. Shan is teeth. Thou is X marks the spot. Now, if y'all need me to write those English translations down, let me know. Put a 1W in the group in the chat so I could definitely write them down. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it anyway. So you got cow. You got cow or bull. You got house or tent. You got camel. Door. This is behold. Fish hook. This is weapon. This is fence. You got basket. Yod is hand. Cop is palm. Lamad is learn. Kawash is snare or trap. Rosh is head. This is teeth. This is mark. So these will be the English translations for the Hebrew. Like I.S.U.P.K is cow. All right, let's get it. So we said 5 animals. It might be these markers was not erasing good because this the multiple colors is it? Yeah, Comic-Con. That's how I got it off earlier. Let's see if we can find a Hebrew word for animal too. Let's go all the way into it, since and since you want to know numbers, you didn't ask for 5, Miss Juanita, Sister Juanita. Then tell me what 5 is in Hebrew. Put in the chat what the number 5 is. Let me see if I can find. Look for the word animal in here, or animals, if you like it. See what I'm saying? Animal is not even a word in the Hebrew. All right, so we said 2 already we had, right? You put it in the group chat. Don't be laughing. For time's sake, I'm gonna get it. So it's Kamash. I know it's a little Hanglish. What it say? Hebrew and Spanish. I mean Hebrew, Hanglish, Hebrew and English. But Kamash animals, 5 animals, right? So we got a cow. We got what was the other one? Camel. Camel was Gamal. So camel was Gamal. And then Alap was cow, right? Let's look up dog. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's Caleb. Kalab. Okay, so Kalab. So the word for dog in the Hebrew is Kalab. Okay, they said Caleb had that dog in him. Look up serpent. Serpent, I'm in the book of, if you want to know the scriptures, I'm in Genesis 49:17. It says serpent is Nakash. 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 For serpent. We'll see what else we can come up with. We got what now? Oh. Then lion. Lion is Arya. One, two, three, four, five. You get a couple more. Got the deer. A deer is this is a fallow deer. I don't know what that is, but Let's use what it says. So fallow deer is YAHANNA war. YAHANNA war. It's a deer. Ox is war. Yeah, that's crazy. So it says a he-ass is a comma war. So maybe the fallow deer. Let me see. What's a fallow deer? A fallow deer is a medium-sized species known for the diverse coat colors, which can range from spotted, fawn. Okay, all right. To why with the animals, or you need some more animals? Like I said, man, if y'all want some, y'all got any questions, put it in the group chat. Keep saying group chat in the comments. All right, most on Christ. Now, he said the numbers in multiples of 10 all the way to 100. Multiples of 10 all the way to 100. All right, so we got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So 10 would be Aishara. 20 will be Asharayim. 30 is Shalashim. What is it? Okay, yeah, that's right. 40 is Arabayim. 50 is Mashim. 60 is Shai. 70 is by as we see, all you're doing is adding the yum to these. 80 is ma wa na yum. 90 is the shy yum, and 100 is ma'ah. And then if I wanted to say hundreds, it would be ma'ayim. So a lot of times, like you said, when you're counting it, on the board. When you're counting, like you said, it's saying multiples, right? And as you see, once we get into these sentences for the with the different weather and stuff like that, you'll see like it's real simplistic. You understand? Because we're gonna say it was cold outside, or today it was cold, or we're going to be able to say today it will rain. You understand what I'm saying? Do you need the Hebrew, the Assyrian, and all that for it as well, or are you too wild on that? Write it up here anyway. I got our bio. Come on, damn, I did this one wrong, so I can. Shalash. Young. Now this is Shishaya. Shishaya. By Shabbat. Shema, well, nah, Shema, well, Shema, well, nah, Shema, well, nah, the shy, the shy, the shy, uh, all right. So there go both forms. You got the Assyrian, the ancient on the right, and then the Assyrian on the left. Give y'all a second to write that down. Then we're gonna get into this weather. Y'all should be talking to me in full sentences by now, man. You know what I mean? The Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh Akah should be the easiest thing to say. Should come up to y'all and say, hey, Shalom, what? Yahweh Shem Shabakatah. Shalom, Malawan, Yahweh Shem Shabakatah. Ma Shalomka. Now, like, or what I say next? Shalom Yatawab. I can say, Ma Shabbatka. What's your tribe? Shabbatya. Yahawada. Or Anya Shabbatya Yahawada. No, it's a lot here. That's I, my. So Anya Shabbat Yahawada or Shabbatya Yahawada. All right, let's get it. Let's get into this weather so we can all be meteorologists out here. All right. So the first one is matar. Second one would be gasham. Third one is yawara. Whoa. This one will be shalag. Hell would be barad. The flood will be ma. Ba. Wall. Okay, I thought I was tripping. I think I hit it. Right. It might be next door. Yeah, because it would have been loud too. Louder. So, I need the water. Take it home first. Right. Yeah, okay. Right. All right. So we got Matar, Gasham, Yawara, Shalag, Barad, and Mabawal. Let's see here. Get the clouds here. Clouds. All right, then for the clouds, we got, and when I say generic, y'all should, I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm talking about, like just regular generic, right? So we got the generic rain, which is matar. Heavy rain or showers is gashum, right? Sprinkle or early rain is yawara. Snow is shalag. Hail is barad. Flood is mabawal. Then onto the clouds, your regular clouds, just in the sky, of course, is Ainan. Thick or dark clouds is Ibe. The dew is Tau. Mist or fog is Ad. Ice or frost is Quarak. And y'all, I don't know if y'all know, but we got a brother named Quarak. And he got a song that's called, hell, I was just about to say that he is a hell of a rapper. He got a song called Ice. Let me take a second. Man, he fire. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know nothing about my brother, check him out. Word up. He literally got a song called Cold as Ice. Like real talk. He fire, man. I'll tell you another brother. I ain't gonna say people sleeping on, but I'm seeing that he on a lot of joint with also Barzal. Lock fire. I'm telling you. I'm gonna have to play that song when I leave here for my ninjas. You know what I mean? He got one called For My Ninjas, then he got one called Left, Right, Left, Right. But so I need y'all, like I said, be mindful of what we're writing right now, right? Because after a while, what we're gonna do is I want y'all to give me a sentence. I got how many we got viewing another one? We got 4 y'all. We got 4 people. So that means I should be able to get at least 4 sentences. You know what I mean? We say 3. Maybe one of the ones that's viewing is us viewing because we on, Zoom, right? But like I said, what we want to focus on, and what Cap always said, when with the Lashawan Qadash is, we want to focus on trying to form sentences. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so for another one, right? So if I went to also Ayathan and I was like, Salaki, sir, Anya Yayan, right? Salaki, no. Hold on. I'm saying that wrong. Hold on. What in the world is want? Because we just did this in Okay, so Salakia. So if I went to him, I would say Awa Yayan. You understand? Or let me see, how would I say that? Awaka, Awaka Yayan, meaning do you want some wine? Kind of the water. You understand? Like just things like that. Like, yeah, right. Most high Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like, so things like that is what we can focus on. And it ain't got to be a full sentence. You got to think about it, man. We want to rehearse the righteous acts. You understand what I'm saying? To the point where we saying certain things. Like, we always say you tawab. So instead of us always saying you tawab, we say tawabka. So now, well, let's go ahead and instead of speaking what I said, Hanglish, which is Hebrew and English, we can speak full Hebrew. Y'all see what Jenna Hyman doing? Good night. I be thinking Jenna Hyman is an Issachar when he opened up the class. Orale, sit up. I can't do all that, I ain't gonna call it mess, but I can't do all that talking he do. The Sando, but the Sando, yeah, Venochaves. Baba, I'm about to say Baba Kasha. That's the damn Hebrew word. Venochaves, por favor. Like, let me get another drink. You know what I'm saying? Learning. Oh, he is? Oh, damn. Most High Christ. What's that? What Freudian shot? What's the Friday shower? What did he say? Schadenfreude? How the hell you say that word? Schadenfreude or something like that. Meaning like, it's a Russian word. Cause I was man, that was a heavy ass class he taught, you know what I'm saying, with that word. And you know, somebody else brought that out, a celebrity brought that out after Gentleman Hyman taught that class. Did you see that? Man, that's how you know these celebrities be watching us. T.I., he had a thing talking about some, man, I was about to leave my wife. And I said, I own this house. I live here. Where am I going? Yo, I'm telling y'all now, they are kind of a concert. They not gonna give the I.S.U.P.K. or right. Right, sir. Absolutely. And that's so heavy. If y'all didn't hear what he said, they know what we saying is true, but they just scared. But what it is what y'all gonna see is they saying a lot of things that the U.P.K. is saying, regurgitating it basically, but they're not man enough to say where they got it from, and they're not going to give the credit to the Most High Christ or the I.S.U.P.K. You understand what I'm saying? But we see it and we know it. So we know that these things, like the Most High said, his word is not going to go out void, man. You understand what I'm saying? I never forget Captain Mashak said this, and it's so heavy. He said, we are the villains that you hate, also the ones that you need, right? I say this while you think about it. They call Spider-Man a villain. The people where he was fighting against, like Salakia, the cops and all that, right? They called him the villain, but he was really getting rid of the real villains. You understand what I'm saying? He was the hero, but to some people, he wasn't. You understand? And that's how the I.S.U.P.K. is. You see these men out here standing up, you understand, for what's right, standing up for what's true, for the Most High Christ. And brothers know that's what's needed. I'll tell you I'll give you an example, sidebar real quick, and then we're going to get on to some more weather, right? A brother was in our Bigo live the other day. He a Christian. He believed Jesus is God and all this mess. But you know what? Something he said that was so heavy. I said, damn. I can't even, get mad at the brother saying. He said, damn, bro. He said, one thing that I can't stand. He said, sometimes when y'all be saying a lot of stuff, and y'all be saying it, I'll be like, yo, that's true. Like about the whole dashing to the stone. He said that's in the Bible. Like, I can't get mad at that. That's what the Bible says. But then he was also like, he said, man, one thing I can't stand when I'm around Christians is they have no masculinity. I said, God damn, he right. He right. But my thing is, Negro, you a Christian, so where your masculinity at? But I will give him, he want to stand. He lost terribly, but he want to stand toe to toe. You understand? But we even able to reach the brother or talk to the brother as a brother because he is a brother, right? He was like, damn, man. He said, that's what I miss about talking to the Israelites, man. It's the masculinity that comes from it. It was sounding kind of, but I got where the brother was coming from. You understand what I'm saying? Because, we stand 10 toes down in this doctrine that we believe in. You're not moving us off our post. It's going to be difficult. You understand? Captain Nazaria, I learned from Captain Nazaria. Captain Nazaria, I learned from Commander General YAHANNA. Captain Nazaria, I learned from General Hyman, General Mayak. You understand? General Shawamar, General Mayaka Allah. You understand? General Kathongabar, General Salakia, Kabbalah Math. I wanted to make sure I ain't leave them all out. Which one I didn't say? Shawamar, General Commander General YAHANNA, General Mahayaman, General Mayaka Allah, General Hazayan Salaki, that's what I didn't say. General Shawamar, General Kathungabar, General Q. He learned from all of them. But I'm saying all that to say, man, we are the type of people that people can't stand, but they love us at the same time. Because the ones that the ones that everybody loves to hate. Why? Because again, everything that we're saying, you as a black man, a Hispanic man, a Native Indian man, a woman and child are thinking it. You just don't know how to voice it. Let us be your voice, right? Christ even said, marvel not if the world hated you, know that it hated me first. You feel what I'm saying? So when we think about what Christ went through, They say Christ was all love. That's not Christ or Yahweh Shah of the Bible, man. Christ was not all love. Luke 19:27, when he said, bring them here that they may not serve me and slay before me, that ain't all love. You understand? Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man coming to the Father but by me. So y'all get mad at us when we say we the truth and the home of the truth. We going off of what Christ said. You understand what I'm saying? But we got to understand the Christ that we serve, man, was a revolutionary. And this man was hated amongst all the Romans. They got to the point where they said, if we keep letting this man do all this work, man, our followers going to start following him. They got rid of him. They unalived him. You understand? So like it says, even when the scripture says, when men shall separate themselves from your company for my name's sake, blessed is you, man. We got to remember that. You understand? I'm telling you, like when we think about this truth and all that, you're going to lose some family members. They're not going to fool with you. You're going to lose some friends. They're not going to fool with you. Most High in Christ. You know why? Because if they left you, they was never with you in the first place. Because they wanted to see you while you was down. They wanted to see you while you was downtrodden and struggling. But now that you shining like a light, shining like a diamond, they like, oh, no, I can't deal with this Negro. I can't deal with this sister. Something different about him. He don't want to go smoke weed. He want to say he want to go to the Sabbath service. You goddamn right. He said he want to go to the Feast of Purim. Yeah, you goddamn right. I'm not going out here drinking and going to the club with y'all and smoking my goddamn life away. I'm going to serve the Lord, man. And now people look at you different. But now you start to see who your true friends are or family. This is the family that we chose, man. The other family you was born into, you ain't get a choice. But we got a choice when we came in the I.S.U.P.K, when you walked through that door. And I choose to stay. One west to the death till they bury me. You understand? It's the lock. All right, so let's get it. So y'all should have all this with the weather. I think the next one is going to be different your winds, which is this one kind of like when I seen this one, because I remember y'all gonna see what I'm talking about when I got to it. Because I was talking to we call them fake Israelites, right? You know what I'm saying? But it was a damn, I didn't mean to erase it. It's all right. But it was a brother where he was saying spirit meant breath or wind, like you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like, what is you talking about? Like, so now when I seen this breakdown and I seen this translation, I said, oh, I see what he's talking about, right? But this is the thing. I think what brothers don't understand too when it comes to first off, the Hebrew is so complex and simple in the same way. Why I mean, like what I mean by that is it can be one Hebrew word that can mean 1,000 different words or 1,000 different translations. So that's why when you go into the Hebrew, you'll see, like for example, Alahayim, it means rulers, judges, God. I think it said true God or something like that. That's 3 or 4 different meanings. You understand? Or it can mean power too, right? So when we read it, we got to know the context. To understand Hebrew, you got to understand the context that it's coming from. You understand what I'm saying? So when he said the rakah part, he wasn't wrong. But when we talking about spirit, your spirit is not your wind. That's dumb. You understand? So now when I saw this, I understood what he meant, but I don't think he understood what the hell he meant. Which is why we tell brothers and sisters, get your ass into class. Damn, that rhymes. I should be a rapper or something. Winds and storms. All right. So we got wind. We got tempest. Whirlwind. We got thunder. And we got lightning. Wind, what I was talking about is rakah. All right. And tempest is sa'ir. Sa'ir. Thunder is ra'im. We got a brother out of Chicago. His name is Ra'im. And lightning is Barak. We got a brother out of Canada, Barack Ya'Allah, or out of DC, Barack. And the next one will be temperatures and seasons, right? Yeah, sun or sunny. Heat. Excuse me. All right. So sun is shamash. Shamash. Heat is hum. Summer is kwa. Ya. Za. Drought is kha. Rab. Cold is kwa. Ra. Salakia. Ra. And winter is kha. Rab. All right. So we got winds is rakha. Tempest is, or whirlwind is sa'ar. Thunder is ra'im. Lightning is barak. All right. Then for the temperatures and seasons, we got sunny. It's like a sun or sunny, which is shamash. Heat, hot or warm is kham. I got a bonus for somebody, right? What nation of people is called kham? If y'all can tell me. We're going to read on. Y'all put it in the comments. Summer. Now, when I say including spring, right? So what I learned is this too. In the Bible, there's never, you're not going to see like spring or autumn, right? The summer is inclusive to also the spring, or the spring is inclusive to the summer. So it's around that time frame. You understand what I'm saying? So when we like you'll read in the scriptures, I think it was Genesis, I think 8:22, what I had looked up, where you'll see cold winter and then it'll say summer and heat and all that. You understand? Let me make sure I'm not. I don't want to quote the wrong scripture, so let me look it up real quick. Okay, Genesis 8:22, it says, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Right? So, like I said, you got all these different words in there. You got cold and winter, you got heat and summer, right? So again, when we talk about summer and winter, the winter is going to include the autumn. Because when you think about it, it's still around, like it's in that time frame of each other. You understand? We don't have the 4 seasons as far as that. Let me see. Specifically in the scriptures. You understand? Now we can get into it more if you want to. Well, I ain't gonna do it today, but of course, when we go into the Apocrypha, it tells you about like the 4 levels, right? Even when it talks about the sun, it tells you about in 4s. You understand how it increases in its glory and things like that, right? So the reason why you see the include spring or include autumn is why, right? So then we got drought, like heat is calm, summer is quietaza, drought is harab, cold is quara, winter is harap. Anybody answer? Come on, y'all. What nation of people will become? I'll give you a hint. I feel like I'm gonna give you the answer. Nah, you might not know that. Only if you know Asa Kowal. Asa Kowal can't stand these damn people. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't telling you nothing else. Because if I tell you anything else, you're gonna get it. Yeah. Right. 1 or 2 people. right. There you go. Right. Now y'all should have this in y'all notes. I'm pretty sure I brought out Barak. And see, this is why I was saying the importance of Hebrew, because when you think about it, right? A lot of this stuff, like we went over Rakha, right? Right. Not specifically as far as wind, but you've seen that word before. All right, damn it. For time's sake, calm is Ham. That is the people, and when we think about it, when we talk about the 3 sons of Noah, right? You got Yapath, Slakin, you got Sham, you got Yapath, and Ham, which is Ham, Slakin, Shem, Ham, and Japhet, right? I always try to make sure I do Shem first because that's our lineage. So when we talk about heat, Ham. So that's why I was saying, like, some things when we learn, it's also for other things that we might not necessarily recognize. But once we learn it also with something else, we should be like, oh, we could recollect and see, oh, okay, that's what this is for. That's what this is talking about. That's who this was talking about. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I was just like, okay, we should know these people right here. Let's see. Is that the last? I think that's the last. Oh my God. Let's see. All right. So y'all are gonna have to. So we're gonna do it for a couple sentences to form our sentences, and then we're gonna get up out of here. All right. All right. So these are going to be the three sentences that we're going to be using, right? So I'm going to give you the first one. And as you see, the it was a, then the word that you're going to have to use that's in the blank are the ones that we just learned, right? So, for example, if I wanted to say it was a cold day, I would say Haya Yawam Quora, right? It was a cold day, Haya Yawam Quora, right? Let me write it up here. It was a cold day, which is Ha Ya Yawam Quora. It was a cold day. So now I'm going to ask y'all, how would I say it will be a snow day, or it will be a day of snow, right? Because again, you can read it how like kind of how Spanish is. Like it'll say the those pants are red, or the red pants. So I need somebody to tell me, right, how to say it will be a day of snow, or it will be a snow day. Y'all already see we got two words, so all you got to do is plug in one more word. Give y'all a couple seconds with this. Let the cat get y'all tongue now. How would I say it will be a snow day, or it will be a day of snow? Give y'all a couple more minutes. Miss Juanita, what's your answer? Now I'm giving you question marks in the comments. How do you say it will be a day of snow, or it will be a snow day? Remember what y'all see. We already know to form the sentences Yahaya, Yawam. All you got to do is add one more word. Give you a couple more minutes. Uh-oh. Where the scholars at? Where the studious people at? Where y'all at with it? If I had what's that say? A soundboard, all you hear is whistles right now. I ain't no sweat. Let me tell y'all for time's sake. All right. So to say it will be a day of snow or a snow day, it is make sure I got the right word for snow. Yeah, I definitely did that wrong. So to say it will be a day of snow is Yahaya, Yawam Shalag. All right. So what we're gonna do next week when we come back, right? We're gonna go over these sentences. So I need y'all to be more in tune in the class, right? Because as I'm teaching y'all, y'all should be able to teach me, right? Just like Officer Hazahab told me when I first started teaching the class, before I even started teaching, he said, if they're not grasping this, what the hell you up there for? So I need to know that y'all are grasping what I'm teaching y'all so that, again, I know I ain't just up here talking to my damn self. Ain't no echo chamber, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, we're going to pass the class off to Priest also I-1,000, so like also 1,000 I-1,000 for the security announcements. Clap it up.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. Whoa. Goodness. So like I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister come into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it after 6 months. If a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment, Book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. Book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew, my Isra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Get a treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for a priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We have the Feast of Purim, 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. Monday, the 2nd of March. Tuesday, the 3rd of March. You can read about that in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 through 31. And we also have the Passover. I know I usually give it to Qadash for the Passover breakdown. You know,
Yeah. Hey, both sides Christ. Hey, listen, man. April the 4th. You understand what I'm saying? 14149 BH Ranch. You understand? In Texas, man. You understand? If you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, listen. It's going down. The 57th annual Passover hosted by Commander General YAHANNA. Get your fares in order. $200 if you are 17 and older. You understand what I'm saying? 17 and under, or it's like you're 16 and under, they get in free. You understand what I'm saying? You'll have the access to the lamb, the wine, your feast of, it's like your 11 bread. And that whole week, man, we're gonna have a plethora of events, man. You understand? We're gonna be, hey, bring your cowboy boots. Cause we're gonna see where them fans at and where them boots at this year. If you could do some line dance, bring that too, man. You understand what I'm saying? We're getting ready to have a glorious time under the Most High in Christ, under Commander General YAHANNA, man. Salaki.
Yeah, right, man. You understand? And let's go back to old I.S.U.P.K, you know what I'm saying? Commander General YAHANNA pay your way, man. You pay somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? And with that, if anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, Imagine, Mrs. Stan, sisters be seated. Gotta render one courtesy salute to the teacher, man Israel, man Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Y'all Bashim, y'all Shabbat, y'all Battalions down, Sar, turn to face the sisters. Sisters Amadim, Mrs. Stan. Gonna render one courtesy salute to the sisters, man Israel, man Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Y'all Shamar, Bashim, y'all Shah. Y'all Battalions down.